What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Commander Deck Tech. This time around, we're doing Rhys the Exiled. This is supposed to be Golgari elves, but it's mostly green elves. The kiddo wanted to play elves, so I took what elves I had and threw them into a deck, and it actually plays for the most part. I'm probably going to do some upgrades to it here in the near future, so look out for an updated version of this deck to come. But for right now, it is what it is. It plays, and in my play group, it does fairly well. I mean, on the slower games, or the games that get to like turn 10-ish. And like I said, these decks aren't like CEDH. They're not 10s, and they're just mid-range for my play group. So let's jump right into this. Rhys the Exiled. When Rhys the Exiled attacks, you gain 1 life for each elf you control. You can play a black, sacrifice an elf, regenerate Rhys. So, that's pretty self-explanatory. Gains you some life. Let's jump into the elves in the deck. Starting off with the lords. Imperious Perfect, Elvish Archdruid, Canopy Tactician. Those are the only 3 lords I have in the deck for right now, because those were the ones I had on hand. But we also got Jorga Chieftain, which kind of is like you pay in X into it, and then you put X +1/+1 counters among any number of target elves, so you can buff all your elves. And she doesn't have to stay on the board for it. Next, we got Paradise Druid, Quirion Elves, Finhorn Elves, Arbor Elf, Quirion Explorer, Rosethorn Alkaloid, Incubation Druid, Rishauer, Llanowar Visionary, Llanowar Lone Speaker, Llanowar Elves, Llanowar Tribe, Elvish Mystic, Circle of Dream Druid, Greenweaver Druid. So a lot of mana dorks, because you want to have tons of mana to do fun things. We got Beast Whisperer, so we get to draw a card every time we play a creature. Tireless Provisioner, every time we play a land, we create a food token or a treasure. Essence Warden, Ivy Lane Denzian. When another green creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, so you can build up your board. Pelt Collector, Well-Wisher. This card can get out of hand quickly, too. Elvish Vanguard. When another elf enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on Elvish Vanguard. We have a lot of elves, if you guys didn't notice. Fauna Shaman. Yeva, Nature's Herald, to give all our green creature spells flash. Our Bowmaster. When you cast an elf spell, you may have the Bowmaster deal 2 damage to target creature with flying. Our playgroup has a handful of decks that have lots of flyers, so Galagreeters, Cultivator of Blades, Iridescent Blade Master, the Renegade, Steel Leaf Champion, Oak Street Innkeeper, Glissa Sunseeker, Reckless Amplimancer. You pay 5, double its power and toughness until end of turn. So once you get your mana build up, this can be a 1-hit kill. You can double it up and up and up and up. Armorcraft Judge, Reclamation Sage, and then the last card, Shaman of the Pack. Shaman of the Pack is the only elf in here that has black in it, because our commander does have black, but for whatever reason I didn't have many elves that were black, so we used what I had. Dwarven Elite, Skyway Sniper, Nettle Sentinel, Elvish Visionary, Llanowar Stalker, Wood Elves, Wildheart Invoker, another, if you build up your mana enough, there's another kill. Oakhane Adversary, Varus Silvery Moon Ranger. This could get out of hand too with all the elves you're going to be playing, going through the dungeons. There's ways to just win your archer. We have another sentinel, a visionary, elderleaf mentor, some death touch, Quarian Ranger, Delaris Battalion, Sahana Wayfinder, Farhaven Elf, Springbloom Druid, Realm Walker, which is technically an elf because it's changeling. You choose elves. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may cast creature spells of the chosen type from the top of your library. So now we have 2 creatures that aren't elves left. The Shia Soul of the Wild, which can get really, really big with the amount of elves you got, and Karametra's Alkaloid. Now, obviously, these 2 aren't elves, but they're still fairly good in this deck. Now, we got artifacts. We got a spellbook, Lightcrafters Bestiary, and a Vanquisher's Banner. And then for enchantments, we're running a Gaia's Anthem and a 1 sorcery in the whole deck, King Harold's Revenge. Now, like I said, this is literally just a budget build of elves. This is just the elves that I happen to have in my collection at the time when I built it because my kid wanted to play elves. So I know there's definitely some cards it could use, like Craterhoof Behemoth. Definitely more ramp. There's definitely tons of black elves that I can think of, like the Abomination of Llanowar, stuff like that. Like, and there's that, Zuri Renegade Leader. There's tons of other ones that could go in here. And maybe over time I might get there. But for right now, this is the build. This is the way it plays. It plays pretty well. The link for the whole deck list will be in the description box, like always. I didn't go over the lands. This deck is mostly forests, so you guys don't want to see a whole bunch of forests. But check out the link down below. Let me know any suggestions you guys might have for this deck, because I'm not the best player in the world, but there might be stuff that, hey, I could pick up for cheap. I know some of the elves in here aren't amazing, but, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button. And if there's another deck tech that you guys want me to check out, or a deck you want me to try, leave a comment down below, because I'm always looking for new stuff to build and play against my play group.